What's up guys, I'm going to be showing you my Sky Striker deck today, which I've been playing for the past couple of weeks at locals. I've been really enjoying playing the deck. It's like quite a big change from playing like combo decks all the time, because usually I'm playing like Dragon Link and stuff like that. But now we're playing just like a control deck. We're blind in second, and today we're going to show you the updated list with the cards from Roze of the Duel List. Straight into the deck, so we play 3 copies of Raye. This card is like by far the best card in the deck. This card gets you so far, it keeps you in the game for so long. It makes it so hard for your opponent to just be able to like kill you. Yeah, just never go any less. I'm currently playing 2 Roze. This is absolutely incorrect. You should definitely just play 3. The only reason I'm not playing 3 is because the guy that I was meant to get one off this week, he just didn't come to locals. So we'll just definitely play 3 of all of these, because basically the game plan with this deck now is you just need to be able to make Hayate, and you get to play for the rest of the game. That's literally it. And then for like the Mekk-Knight package to support them, so we just play 3 copies of purple, 2 copies of blue, 1 indigo, and then I play the 1 Dingirsu. Purple is like by far the best one. What I really like about these cards is because you're blind in second, they're all just like huge bodies, and now that like boards are always ending with stuff like Herald of the Arclight and stuff like that, like maybe like small Appaloosas. These cards just let you sort of attack and then go into your main phase 2 and start playing. This card's also got a really nice synergy with the Sky Striker field spell. This package lets you make a Dingirsu just out of nothing. I really like these cards, and they're all extenders to get you into Zeke as well, which is probably like my favourite Sky Striker card now. And then just the last monster I play is 1 copy of Pankratops. This deck list is completely like experimental post Roze of the Duel List. I'm actually just trying the deck with only Infinite Impermanence as an actual hand trap, just simply because I don't know how popular it's going to be for people to main deck 3 tactical talents, and like I just don't want to give them any reason to trigger it. But Pankratops like really helps you to go second, takes a lot of the pressure off. If you see this card in your hand, you can generally just sort of like tune out, and then just like pay attention again when it's your turn. For the spells, which is like the biggest portion of the deck, so we just play 3 Pot of Desires, 1 Upstart Goblin, and 1 Rotor. I actually think like every single Sky Striker deck, no matter what you're trying to do with it, should play these 5 cards. I think they're just sort of like brain dead. And then for the actual Sky Striker cards, so we play 2 copies of Area 0 and 1 Terraforming. I was originally playing 3 and 1, but I just saw this card too many times, like in multiples. It's really annoying because this is the only card that actually like is bad in multiples, because this generally like sorts your multiple problem out. So if you see 2 Desires, for instance, you can activate 1 and then target 1 with this. This is the only card in the deck that you can't like resolve that problem with. So then we play 1 copy of Multirole, 1 copy of Hornet Drones. I think these are like the most powerful ones to see, especially Hornet Drones, because these are the ones that get you to a Sky Striker Elite monster without using your normal summon. And basically what that means is that on your first turn going second, you're able to summon a Zeke and a Dingirsu. So then that basically just means that you get to like crack almost any board. So yeah, these cards are really strong. And then the sort of like the weird part about this list, I think, is probably triple Afterburners. I was originally playing 2 Shark Cannons and 1 of this, and then I realised that no matter what deck I play against, it doesn't actually make any sense at all to be playing Shark Cannon when I'm going to blind second 100% of the time, especially in a format where almost any deck can put out like 2 negates because of the Halt combo. So I just wanted one of these instead, which could at least just sponge a negate. I think this card's like excellent as well with cards like tactical talents, because this card forces the negate, and then you can just talents and like either draw 2 or take a monster. So yeah, this card's really good. And then Widow Anchor. I'm expecting we get the 3rd one back soon off the list, but yeah, this card's very powerful. And then just for the new cards, obviously like these aren't like heavily tested because like they're brand new, but I'm just going to explain my sort of like theory as to why each of them are here. So triple tactical talent is like, I think a lot of people are just sort of besotted with this card at the minute, which is like fair play to them, because it is like, it does read as just a broken card. I personally think that this card fits a lot more comfortably in decks going second than it does like decks going first, because of the reason that when you draw this card going first, you're basically like wanting your opponent to hand trap you. If they don't, you don't get to use this card. If they do, this card doesn't actually have an effect which extends you So like the draw, you're like relying on drawing an extender, but then you're not going to take control of the opponent's monster on the first turn. Like obviously the hand rip is really powerful, but that matters less if you didn't make your board that you wanted to. But like going second, you're always going to resolve this card in whatever effect you want. Generally I prefer the mind control effect, but like obviously they're all powerful effects. And then I'm playing 3 copies of Droplets, which I think is like my favourite card from Rise of the Duelist. Basically this card is essentially Dark Ruler no more, but a quick play. And I think that is like so powerful because it basically solves every problem with Dark Ruler. Not only is it quick play as well, but it also makes it easier to do a lot of damage in a turn, as opposed to not being able to do any damage at all. So yeah, this card's like so strong. You can also like do cool stuff where you can chain it to certain cards, so you can go like Afterburners. They're obviously going to negate this. You can then chain this, you can send the Afterburners as many cards as you want from your hand, negate that many cards, and then the Afterburner's still going to resolve. And what's cool about this is you can actually just use this to fuel your grave of spells, and then you're going to get the secondary effects of whatever Sky Striker spell you activated. Something else that you can do, which is really cool with this card, is you can use it to like dodge stuff like Impermanence Veilers and whatnot. So when you go to someone like your Kagari or even like your Dingirsu, if your opponent is then hoping to like clutch Veiler or Imperm you, you can actually just chain this to get rid of the monster off the board. And then that way you get to resolve your monster effect, and like it's sort of like a Call by the Grave in that sense, where it just like protects whatever you've tried to summon. And then this card's also really cool because the attack halve is like so relevant, because there is hardly anything in the meta that will be more than 1500 attack after it's been halved. And a pretty good target for this is Savage, because he goes to exactly 15. This means that when you summon like your Raye, you can link it straight into Hayate, crash the Hayate into the Savage, and then you'll get Raye back to be able to declare an attack on another monster. So I can't say like enough good things about this card. It's so good going first or second. And then I'm playing 3 copies of Chalice. The main reason for this card in particular is because of the Numeron stuff. It's obviously not very pleasant to just sit like against a Numeron not being able to play. This card helps that problem. It's also just very good like going second in general, especially because a lot of people don't expect this card compared to something like Impermanence or Gamma. So like what someone might do is they might summon their Zexor and then wait for you to like play a card so that you can't Impermanence, or better yet, they wait for you to summon a monster so that you can't Gamma them. Them doing that doesn't stop you doing this to the Zexor, so this card's like just really strong. Like the more of these cards that you see going second, like a lot more, like the higher the chance of like being able to break the board. And then the last 3 cards are just 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence, which is like the only hand trap in the deck. It is like one of the better cards to draw for that reason, obviously. What's like something that's like really cool about this though is that the fact that you can activate this as your 6th card is that you can just go onto your first turn, go straight into your main phase, drop this targeting a Savage. Their knee-jerk reaction is to just negate it, and then at that point like your talents is live. So like there are just so many ways to just like turn your talents on in this deck. So yeah, that's like the main deck. I'm just going to quickly go over the extra deck. We play 3 copies of Hayate. Like I said, you're basically just trying to get into this one so that you can start playing. Basically searches any card, any Sky Striker card from your deck to your hand, which is pretty cool. And then like 3 Kagari, so like these 2 work in conjunction obviously. So there's not really a lot to say about those ones. So the next one is Shizuku. I personally think this card like gets worse and worse the more like I play this deck. It probably is worse in this list in particular because we have less targets to search off it. So like something that me and Liam were talking about is about like the triple Afterburners, is that one of the things that will probably come up is that Shizuku's going to have less good targets to search at the end of the turn. But I think I'm willing to accept that as long as I'm drawing an Afterburners over a Shark Cannon. But yeah, look, this card's obviously pretty standard. We play the one Kaina. I don't have a lot of good stuff to say about this card. Basically, you literally just get punished for not playing this. All it does is sponge like an attack, essentially. And then I play 2 copies of Zeke. This is like my favourite card in the deck. I think it's so cool. I really like the fact that we now have actually a monster that we can make and want to make off like taking your opponent's cards, or be like Widow Anchor and stuff. This card's send effect is really relevant, especially when you use it on area 0, because then that lets you get to a third monster essentially when you count the link ratings, because then that lets you climb into Accesscode Talker really easily. And then this card's obviously got great synergy with Roze, so you just summon this, you banish their monster in the extra monster zone, Roze revives, so you just get to keep linking off. And then for the generic sort of stuff, I guess, well, sort of stuff, there's only one, which is just Accesscode Talker. When we was playing this deck, we basically just agreed that this deck just needs a win condition. I wasn't playing this card, I was actually playing Masquerader, because I just thought it was cool that you could summon this on your opponent's turn. But then last week I basically just stole this off George, started playing with it, and then I realised that it's actually just probably the best link monster I've ever used. I think this card is so powerful. The fact that they can't respond to either of the effects is just dumb. The fact that it doesn't target is really dumb. The fact that it goes to 4/3 in this list is stupid. Yeah, this card also triggers a Roze as well, so you can just pop their whole board and then pop the thing in the extra monster zone last, and then you get to revive Roze and carry on playing. And then the last two cards in the extra deck are just one Galatea and one Ding. This is essentially just to support the Dingirsu. The main reason I play these and the reason why I like them so much is because we're playing so many cards that are really good going second, but they don't actually advance what you're doing. I basically wanted something good I could make off just a Mekk-Knight play that could actually threaten the opponent in some way or form. And this is essentially the only way to do it, because Mekk-Knights don't really do anything on their own outside of Dingirsu. So the fact that you can just jump straight into his Ding, maybe set one of these cards, that's a good enough bad turn for me to want to play this. So then we're just going to go to the side deck. So we're just playing 3 copies of Nibiru. I'd absolutely love to main this card in this deck just because we are blind in second, obviously. Unfortunately at my locals there's a lot of sort of rogue decks in the form of trap decks and stuff, so this card is obviously not very good to draw against them. But yeah, this card goes in a lot. And then play 3 copies of Phantazmay. I think this card's actually nuts in this deck, just simply because when you go when you blind second and you've got a lot of these powerful blowout tools at your disposal, it's really nice to be able to just pick and choose them as your opponent's playing, because then you actually get to you get to sculpt your hand before your opponent even sort of does anything, and that means that you can just play the game a lot more comfortably. You haven't got to sit there stressing about how you're gonna reach over the board, because you can do it before your turn is even started. And obviously it's really nice to try and dig into a Nibiru as well. I'll still play 3 copies of Dark Ruler No More. Again, I would actually just main this card, I wouldn't mind doing it, but this card isn't good against the weird sort of trap decks and stuff, whereas Droplets and Chalice and stuff are. I don't think this card gives you a lot of value, especially when all you're doing is negating a Marionetta with it, so obviously that just doesn't do anything. What I do like about this card is the fact that it's just a normal spell, so you can use it to set up a Mekk-Knight column. Yeah, this card's pretty cool. And then for the last cards, we're just back row Hayate. I know I've just mentioned that at my locals there's a lot of trap decks, and obviously I'm not siding Lightning Storm, but we've actually spoke a lot about Lightning Storm recently, and we've all basically come to the conclusion that card is not very good.
We've got 3 play sets for sale if you're interested.
Yeah, we have 9 for sale if anyone wants to buy them. That card is probably the worst thing I've ever spent my money on, over the past couple of years in this game. It's actually horrendous.
It's from Amsterdam.
The fact that you can only activate that card when you control no cards basically means that it's never going to resolve. It's just going to get negated 100% of the time. Against the trap decks, especially in this deck, they're just anti-spelling you anyway, so you're not ever going to resolve Lightning Storm. Whereas with these, you can actually use them reactively. And then these cards are also especially this one. This one's obviously really good against the Eldritch decks, because you can just chain this to the Conquistador, and then their sort of disruption just sort of dies. So yeah, I would highly recommend playing these cards over Lightning Storm in a deck like this.
Yo, Jake, can you just show us a quick combo?
A quick combo. So I'm just going to go through a quick 2-card combo. I think you absolutely need to know this combo when you play this deck. So yeah, so what you do is you normal summon Sky Striker Ace Raye, and then you activate Area 0, and then you use Area 0 to target Raye, and then chain Raye's effect. So then Raye will summon you a copy of Sky Striker Ace Kagari, and then Area 0 resolve and reveal the top 3 cards, and we miss. So that was my Mekk-Knight Sky Striker profile. I'm really having a lot of fun with the deck, so I'm going to stick with it for quite a while. I'm going to play it every week at locals, so hopefully you'll see some more locals dual videos of it. So yeah, thank you for watching. If you've got any questions about the list or any suggestions, drop them in the comments. Just like, comment, subscribe.